Hey everybody, my name's Kobe. This is going to be the start of my new account dedicated to everything about sports. Obviously, I'm an Aussie, as you can tell by the channel name, and I'm just going to be doing weekly updates about different types of sports, NBA, NFL, AFL, really, whatever interests me. And I thought today was probably the best time to start my recording and the channel with the recent bombshell news of the Luka Doncic Anthony Davis trade. Obviously, this is probably the craziest trade that's ever happened in the NBA. It's just bombshell after bombshell with this trade. I'm sure, like most people, I was just sitting down and a notification pops up on my phone. Luka Doncic has been traded to the Lakers for Anthony Davis, and I think, as everyone else was, everyone's thinking, well, Shams is hacked. Then more stuff starts coming out, more companies start posting, and then you realise it's real. And so I'm just going to say my mind about the trade, what I think's good and bad, and what the team's going to do from here. So first off, the actual trade is, so the Dallas Mavericks receive Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a 2029 Lakers first round pick, while the Lakers are getting Luka Doncic, Maxi Kleber, and Markieff Morris. And the Jazz are involved in this as well, maybe the salary cap complications, or the Lakers need to trade away a player. So they get Jalen Hood-Schifino and a Clippers 2025 second round pick and a Mavs 2025 second round pick. So we'll start off with, obviously, the big point, the Mavs and why they trade away Luka Doncic. So this has all come out of nowhere. They have come out publicly said a couple of the reasons why. Nico Harrison, the general manager, has come out and said he does value defense. So obviously Luka, not the greatest defensive player ever. I'll have a look at his defensive stats real quick. This whole team was built around him for the defense. They've got obviously good defender, Klay Thompson. He's still not a bad defender. PJ Washington. They say they do value defense. So obviously Luka, 25, coming up to his prime, averaging 28, 8 and 8, and averaging 2 steals a game. So his steals are up there, but his actual presence on the ball, he's a big body, 6'7", but his presence on the ball isn't really up to scratch as to what they think. So that's probably not the whole tale, but they do get a all-defensive guy in Anthony Davis back, all-NBA, obviously Defensive Player of the Year caliber player. But so that's one of the reasons why they've said that. So there's nothing really too bad about his defense. It is obviously lacking, but he can get steals. But have a look. So some of the other reasons why they were concerned about his fitness and commitment. So he had a $345 million Supermax extension looming. So that would have been roughly about $73 million a year, which is a crazy amount. So that was for a 5-year contract because of his All-NBA, because they bonus up the incentives. Now that he's been traded to Lakers, he can only earn, I think it was $230 million. So a lot less, obviously. It's still a very good amount. I think anyone in the world would take that. But for him, that probably is something that he would be alarmed about. So Nico Harrison did say that they had major concerns with his conditioning issues and the Supermax contract. So they said the lack of discipline involving his diet and his conditioning. So they were saying they were factoring his injury issues as well with it. They were saying Luka his weight had got up to the high 260 pounds, which is roughly 118 kilos. And he is fairly big. He is 6'7", I believe. So that's still very big. Looking at the picture today of him leaving Los Angeles, him getting off the plane in Los Angeles, he did not look that big. So I don't know what's up with that. But yeah. So they're saying, and another big part about this is he has been out for a while, obviously, since Christmas Day. It's the worst injury of his career, so he's been out for 19 games, but still not really that much. But the big thing about this deal is the fact that they've traded Luka Doncic to the Lakers for what seems to be a lot less than what they could have gotten. Obviously, Luka, he's 25, been the All-NBA team every year since his rookie season. So the rookie season, the only season he didn't, but he's 25, entering his prime. You've built your team around this guy. He's just led you to the finals 8 months ago. He's your future for the next 10 years, and they've traded him, which, if they did have issues with him, then obviously it still is a difficult decision to trade him, but you could have gotten a lot more in the market. Obviously, OKC, 31 picks. They very could have easily gotten 7 or 8 picks and some good young players. I know Houston probably would have made an offer. The Spurs would have made an offer, which would have contained lots of picks and young players. They could have got Aman Thompson back, who looks like a very promising young piece. But they go to the Lakers. So they don't even announce he's on the trade block. They just pretty much go to the Lakers, say, do you want Luka Doncic? And that's how it went. Obviously, the Lakers getting rid of Anthony Davis is very big for them. He's been their probably guy for the last couple of years. He's played a lot of games. He is aging, so 31, but he's still a top 10 player in the league. Let me have a look at his stats real quick. His exact stats. I'm a Lakers fan, and I know he has been playing very good. Currently, this season, he's averaging 25 points, 13 rebounds, 3.5 assists, 2.5 blocks. So he's shooting at 52% from the field. He's not the greatest three-point shooter, but they don't really need that. They've, obviously for the Mavericks, the one bit about this that doesn't make sense if you're trading away Luka is you've picked up another big man. So now they've got, obviously Lively's out for a couple months, but they've got Daniel Gafford, Lively now. You got Lively, AD now, PJ Washington. So he's either going to slide to the 3 or go to the bench. And I don't really know about PJ Washington sliding to the 3. Obviously, he, in the last couple of years from the 3-point, he shot 38%, 32%. So it's not terrible, but I just think he's not the right match for the 3 for them. So, yeah, they do. So they also get back Max Christie, who I think in the last couple of games for the Lakers, since he's been in the starting lineup, has been very good for them. And obviously, he is a young player you don't really want to lose. But when you come out and you're being offered Luka Doncic, I don't think you can't turn that down, even if it means giving away Max Christie. Because he is just the surefire top 3 player in the league for the next 10 years. So I don't really understand it from the Mavericks and the GM, Nico Harrison. But we'll see what they can do from here and how they can maybe prove this trade wrong. But I think I'm just as stunned as everybody right now on the Mavericks part. I know you go to the Dallas Mavericks subreddit, all these other places, Dallas Mavericks fans complaining everywhere, think people want this guy's head off. They're not very happy that they've had Luka Doncic, a player you look for years to try and get, and then you get rid of him for what you could have got for him, considered a bag of peanuts. Look at the Wizards. They've been trying for years to get a generational player. They haven't got it. They're in the mud. And now for the and then you get the Mavericks who get a player like Luka, generational, once-in-a-lifetime player, and you trade him away. It just doesn't really make any sense. Obviously, Nico Harrison also came out and did say he thinks the team is better now and in the future. Now, I can see why he could say that. Obviously, Luka is a very good player, but AD is very good for him. Kyrie now, that backcourt, not very good defensively. But now you got AD who's very good defensively. It doesn't help the backcourt, but it could be good for them, turn their season around. But in the future, you've traded, obviously, as I said, your 25-year-old, nearly 26-year-old going into his prime for a bag of peanuts. So, yeah. Don't get me wrong, I do think AD is an absolute superstar, but obviously, compared to what they could have got, I don't think it's the best. Now for the Lakers side of the deal. So, obviously, getting Luka at 28, 8 and 8, that's really continues their run of glorified stars. Like, you got Jerry West, Chamberlain back in the day. Then you got Magic and Kareem during that Showtime era. You move to Kobe and Shaq. Then Kobe and Power. Then LeBron and AD. Now you got Luka. So you keep that trend of getting your star. And I really do think that getting Luka is going to help them greatly. Obviously, LeBron's 40. You got Anthony Davis, who would have been 32. I don't think the future looked very bright for them before this trade. Now you got Luka. Obviously, maybe this year, I think the Lakers could have been a sneaky title chance. I don't think they had too much hope. Obviously, the Thunder look loaded in the West. The Rockets look very good as well. Let's have a look at the standings. So I think they were currently 5th in the standings for the West. Yeah, they're 5th, so 28-19. So Mavericks 26-24. I don't see them beating the Thunder or the Rockets in a 7-game series. Even the Nuggets. I don't really see them beating them, but they could have. But now they got Luka. I don't know how he's going to pair with LeBron. Obviously, two very similar players. Give me the ball, I'll make things happen. LeBron probably will stay. I think there is a world where they could trade him out. Obviously, a couple of teams, maybe like the Warriors, could be interested. You can either stick it out these last 1 or 2 years, see if he can help you deliver another chip, or you trade him now, get what you can get for him, and it's not really slamming the rebuild mode. Obviously, you got Luka, you're not going to be in rebuilding contention. It's more just resetting, getting some young assets and picks, and drafting your team or making this young core around Luka, which is going to help him succeed. Obviously, you will need a good defender in the backcourt with him. So that would be something you need. There's obviously a lot of young guys who are very good defensively that you could trade for. But we'll see what they do from there. Obviously, regarding this year, I still don't mind their starting lineup. Obviously, you got Luka, Austin Reeves. I would think now if Jared Vanderbilt's back, he will play the 4. LeBron will play the 3, and they will need a center. They got Jackson Hayes right now. We'll get to that in a little bit. But you probably need to play Vanderbilt now for that extra defense. LeBron's not bad defensively. Like, they probably will be getting scored on a lot. But if you're the Lakers, you're obviously very sad about AD leaving. Obviously, 6 years here, great numbers, delivered us a championship. You're gutted for him to leave. But in hindsight, this deal has improved the Lakers so much and has probably been a blessing for them that they were able to get Luka and continue their young core that they're looking to build probably. So obviously Luka, on regards to him, his contract, we can sign him to a deal next year, a long-term extension. He has the player option in the 26-27 season, so not next season, the season after. For that season, obviously, if we can get him back to 2029, that first round pick is not going to be any value that we did trade to the Mavericks. I think we do have a first round pick left, and I think there definitely is a couple of options of what we can do with this pick. Obviously, if we want to keep contending this year, we do need a big man, because currently we have Maxi Kleber is injured, and then we have Christian Coloco, Christian Wood is injured, and Jackson Hayes, which is definitely not enough to compete for a title. So I think a couple of big man options they could potentially get have gone and taken the time, go on Fanspo and make a couple mock trades. So the first one here is one with the Bulls. Obviously, they have had a big trade today, getting rid of Zach LaVine in the 3-team deal that sent the Aaron Fox to Spurs. I might uncover that in a couple of days. But for here, so the Lakers would be receiving Nikola Vucevic and a 2028 second-round pick from the Kings. And the Bulls, we would have to trade away our 2031 first, our 2025 second, Gabe Vincent and Rui Hachimura to make up the contracts. It was out of Rui Hachimura and Jared Vanderbilt. I do think Rui Hachimura is a better player. You can put in Vanderbilt if you want. I just think the defense in Vanderbilt now will help a lot more. We've got Luka now. He's going to give us 30, 40 a game. Well, not 40 a game, but he'll give us 30 a game. So we don't as much need the scoring now. We do need the defense, and I think Jared Vanderbilt will be very good for that. So that's one of the deals. The next one is with the Jazz. So I think with the Jazz, another potential deal could be for obviously Walker Kessler. I think if we were to do this deal, we would probably want another player back, especially to make the contracts work. So in this deal, I have us getting Jordan Clarkson back. He could be a nice guy off the bench. And for this, I have us giving up Rui Hachimura, Cam Reddish, a second-round pick, and the first, obviously, that I mentioned before. You can substitute Rui Hachimura here for Gabe Vincent. I don't know if the Jazz would accept that. I do think this one they would maybe accept. Obviously, Walker Kessler. So we'll talk about Clarkson first. He's obviously averaging 16, 4, and 4. So it's not bad. That would help us off the bench. Our guard play isn't too good. Shake Milton's not bad. Vincent hasn't been playing very good. But in terms of Walker Kessler for the Jazz this season, in 37 games, he's averaging 11 points, 11 rebounds, and 2.5 blocks, which would help this team out so much. He is only young as well. He is 25, I believe. So another, where is it? Let's have a look. 23. So he's only new in the NBA. He is a good young big man who I do really rate. So some of the games here, he's had 15 rebounds, 17 rebounds, 16. So he is good for getting rebounds, and he often does get a lot of blocks. 5 in 2 games here. 4 in a couple. So that would be a good deal for us. And I do have one last trade. And this last deal would be a 3-team trade. You could make it a 2-team trade with just the Pacers. But I have brought in an extra team here, obviously the Spurs, just to dump off some cap there. So I think in the trade, it would be the Pacers getting Rui Hachimura, Gabe Vincent, Cam Reddish, our first and second round pick. So, and we would get Miles Turner, Aaron Naismith. I think you can potentially do this deal without Naismith. I don't know if the Pacers would want to do that. If we could get that, that'd be great. But that would be ideal. And obviously we do send out Christian Wood to the Spurs just for the cap, as you can see by the trade there. I think ideally Miles Turner's the best. He's a good stretch big. That can allow Austin Reeves, LeBron, Luka to attack the rim, kick it out to him. And Naismith would just be a good shooter. I think, obviously, we do need a big man. I'm not really fussed who they get. There is a couple players they can go for, and I wouldn't mind, but we just need a big man desperately, because I do not really want to see them rocking Jackson Hayes as a starting big for much longer. So there are a couple trades, and I think that would be how they line for the rest of the season. You've got Luka, Austin Reeves. I would play the Vanderbilt and LeBron, and then you have to play Jackson Hayes. Sadly, you could play small ball and go Dorian Finney-Smith. I wouldn't mind that. And off the bench, depends on if he gets traded, but if not, it'd be Gabe Vincent. I'd say Shake Milton. Reddish could get traded, so Hachimura could get traded. If he doesn't end up getting traded, I'd put Rui on the bench with probably Dorian Finney-Smith and Cam Reddish. I'd just go real small ball. And you've got obviously Doughton Yecht in there, who could play. And then for the Mavericks, obviously, there's not really too much about them. They've got for the rest of the season, let's have a look at their lineup real quick. Reset. So for the Mavericks, they've got obviously Kyrie will run the point guard. I do rate Max Christian for them. I think he's grown into a very good 3-and-D player. I think looking at this team, obviously got Quentin Grimes, but I think he could be a chance to start at the 2 for them. You can slide Clay to the 3 and have AD with Gafford for now. I think that's not a bad starting lineup. Obviously, Kyrie and AD pick and roll would be very crazy. Like, I don't know how many teams would stop that. Got Clay to kick it out to. Then off the bench, you have Dinwiddie, Grimes, Najee Marshall, PJ Washington, and Lively when he's back, or if not, Dwight Powell. I do think that's still a very solid bench line. I think they can definitely get back into it if they're able to find the right mixes, and I do actually look forward to seeing what they do. On the 25th February, obviously, I think it'll be 26th here. They are meeting the Mavericks and the Lakers. That'll be an epic matchup. Like, obviously, Luka with the revenge tour and stuff. But yeah, that's not really too much. That's just my takes on it, what I think they'll do. So obviously, just to cap it off, I think for Lakers, miss AD, but it's very good for them. They got their future now for the next 10 years. They're set. For the Mavs, it's either you win now. Well, they got to win now. Otherwise, it's probably a big disappointment for them. There's no real future to this. I think it's kind of stupid. But if they can win now, silence the haters, then that obviously works for them. And for the Jazz, they just get some free players and stuff. So it doesn't end up being too bad for them. So, thanks for watching my first video, and hope you guys enjoyed it, and feel free to come back when I post more.